What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here. And as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Blue Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. It's breezy here. Whoa, look at it. Wind blowing the phone on over. It's breezy here in Texas, where all my exes live. Um, it's been a great day. I have, well, you guys know, I don't have the fire pit going or anything like that. Um, but you guys know that any day that I am picking daisies as opposed to pushing up daisies is a good day. And sitting here reflecting, of course, on a day that was definitely well spent, but I'll get to that in a bit. So, my quarterback, my teammate, and if you say anything about him, it's not fair. It's not fair. Dak Prescott says he is leaner than he has ever been. Okay? He's got cut out the fat. He cut out all the fat. Listen, do you hear that wind? It's just blowing like crazy out here. He's cut out all the fat. He said this is the leanest that he's ever been. They asked him, they said, leaner than in college? He said, in college, I was a meathead. So Dak Prescott saying he is no longer a meathead. You got that? He says, I'm no longer a meathead. I'm lean. I'm ready to go. And Mike McCarthy today at the press conference hinted that Dak Prescott will be running more this year. Now listen, here's what I know. And it's not much. It's not much that I know. But coming back from a major surgery, it usually takes your body about a year to heal, without a doubt. And when you think about an ankle literally being snapped, having to have that surgery, and then add to that a clean out surgery, add to that a calf injury, all of those things were related because here's what happens. I know that when I tore my ACL in my left knee, I compensated for it because I was worried about hurting it some more. So I leaned more to the other side. Well, what happens is your body has to shift and change what it's been doing for all this time. And when you do that, then it's torquing and bending and using muscles differently than what's always been there and the way they've been done. So more than likely, Dak coming back with that ankle, he's going to favor the other leg and so forth, in which case then you cause other problems. And if you watch some of the mechanics of Dak Prescott in the second half of the season, after the calf injury, you could see that Dak Prescott just was not there. You could see a lot of times where Dak would be able to make that, Houdini move where it's like, he's here now, and he's gone, and the, defensive lineman is left, grabbing for air. He couldn't do that. And even on the bootlegs, you would see him kind of elevating off the ground as he's throwing, so he's only throwing with his arm. And see, there's a misconception for most people that think that your throwing action is all about your arm, but it's not. Here's the thing about throwing. It's kind of like throwing the shot put. Okay, I was a shot putter, discus thrower, tried to become a decathlete. But what you have to understand is your arm is just the final part of it. Everything about throwing is using your body as a whip. It doesn't matter if you're a baseball pitcher, the way he rears back and pulls his left arm through, it stretches your chest muscles and it makes basically a whipping action that you can follow through. It's the same motion when you are throwing a pass. The guy's hands are out here, this arm is leading and pulling through, and it's whipping across the body. So I'm going to even give Baker Mayfield kind of a pass because his other shoulder was messed up, which means he couldn't lead and pull and stretch the body, which means you're just relying on the arm strength, and that's the problem. You can't rely just on arm strength. So for Dak to have the season that he had last year is still amazing to me because of the multitude of injuries that were compounded by the injury. So enter the end of that season, okay? He gets his shoulder cleaned out and everything else, so now he can really follow through. He's gotten away from the donuts, I guess, if he ate donuts or whatever, because, he's no longer a meathead. And has lost some extra weight, he'll be quicker, he should be more agile, and more importantly, he's had that ankle have enough time to truly heal, and he's gone through that season, and so now he shouldn't be favoring it. Because the thing about football is this: when you are out there trying to protect yourself because you're worried about injury, chances are you will get injured. You have to understand that football is about reaction. And if you have to think about what you're doing with football, you're beat every time. You're a step too slow. It's got to be like that. And I don't believe that Dak had the confidence last year in that ankle, or wasn't quite sure how it was going to be. But now that he's had that whole season, he made it through there without it snapping. He's had some time after the season to kind of heal up and rest and, get himself together. Now he's ready to put all that stuff together and hopefully go crazy. And for all those out there that say that, the Cowboys are taking a step back because they lost a few players here, you always lose players here and there. And you think about where our team was last year. Remember last year when we were looking at safety, or 2 years ago, actually last year, because we looked and said, well, we got Donovan Wilson, and that's it. This year, all of a sudden, we got Jaron Kearse, and we look at him and say, his numbers were as good as Budda Baker's. And he was a nobody until he became a somebody. Diggs, he was an okay rookie cornerback. All of a sudden does something that no other cornerback has done this century. 11 takeaways. Micah Parsons. Well, he was pretty good in college, but he didn't play his senior year. Sat out for a year. All these guys became stars that weren't stars before. And we have some of those guys that are on that roster right now that come this time next year, we're going to say, I didn't see that coming. Where'd that guy come from? Cowboys are smart to get that guy. So that's where we are. Now, I'm here in Dallas, and I'm on a mission. I've got a lot of people who sent me emails and Facebook messages and things like that say, hey, you're in Dallas, man. Somebody was talking about seeing some jazz music on Friday night and stuff at a great place and stuff. And other people, hey, let's go to this place and barbecue and all that. And hey, did you bring any chicken wings? And I would love to be able to do a lot of that, or all that stuff. I'd love to come just hang out with all of you guys. But that's not what this trip is about. This trip is about honoring a promise. And a man that ain't got his word is a cockroach. That's true. It's a cockroach. That ain't no cockroach. This is balls to the wall to get this done. I'm tired. I got blisters on my feet. I got a fingernail that's got cut up in the middle. I got more work to do than I can keep up with. But I've got so many people behind me lifting me up and helping me to fulfill a promise that I made. And I can't let those people down. I can't let Stuart and his family down. And I remember how hard it was being a single parent with 2 young kids. I had a flesh-eating bacteria. I had to spend 6 months basically learning how to walk again. I lost a job that I loved. I was in financial ruin. And I got 2 kids to take care of. And I was feeling lower than a snake's belly. And I don't know if my daughter sensed it or not, But she came up to me at just the right time and gave me a big hug and a kiss on the cheek and said, "I love you, Dad. You're the best dad in the world." And it was that moment that raised me up, and being tired and exhausted and wanting to give up, that elevated me to say, I've got to go on because it's beyond how I feel. Mark Torres is going to come up and do some barbecuing and stuff for us tomorrow because he's like, hey, I want to meet you and want to hang out with you, and I want you to have some great real food. And I'm going to tell you, don't sue me, Jack in the Box, but that stuff I got last night, late last night, was terrible. Just saying. First time I've ever eaten a Jack in the Box, and the last time. But be that as it may, I sent a message to Stuart's sister, and I said, okay, my man comes up, he wants to barbecue and stuff on it and things. And she's like, no problem. And I was like, would you like to come over and get it? Because Mom hasn't been over at the house. She hasn't seen the work that we're doing. We're going to have a big surprise for her. And she was just ecstatic about that. And she did a message to me that was kind of like my daughter. She said, all of the stuff you're doing is making my mom so happy that it's helping to take some of the sadness away of losing Stuart. And so that's my mission. I'll be back. We'll hang out, tailgate, we'll have some wings, we'll watch them boys and all that. But right now, this is a little bit different. I appreciate all of y'all, because this gift that I'm doing is not just for me. It's from all of you to Stuart's memory. Hope y'all have a great night. As my dad would say, I'm gonna go take these dead bones to bed. And God willing, I'll see you in the morning. Oh, don't forget, make sure you tell the ones you love them tonight. Because you might not get that chance again. Baby.
Yes.
I love you.
Love you more.
Love you guys too. Peace.